This highlight. Hi guys, thank you so much for watching. So today I'm doing a video all about makeup brushes. I get a ton of questions on what brushes I use, what brushes are for what, and I know it can get really confusing, especially for makeup beginners because there's so many brushes on the market, you might not know which one to use. So hopefully this video is helpful for you guys, and even makeup artists in general. You can get an idea of new brushes maybe to try out. So if you guys want to learn about new brushes, then just keep watching. I want it to be extra comfortable today. That's why I'm wearing this big old sweater. This is actually from the men's size, but it's so comfy and warm. It's so damn cold. It's been so cold for the past few days, like literally -degrees out here. And it's super cold. I'm over it. Just real comfortable today. But anyways, let's start with some brushes today. So in the beginning, when I used to watch makeup videos on YouTube and tutorials, everything like that, I would use like two brushes. I had two. I had like a flat brush and then like a small blending brush, and I would do all my looks with that. But today I want to show you like the essential brushes that you can do basically any look with just these four brushes. I think it'll be very helpful, and I feel like, and necessarily, honestly, you only need three of these brushes actually. Alright, so the first brush I'm going to talk about is the Sigma E40. You can even see the writing. This is one of my first brushes I bought, like expensive brushes. This was probably like $12, and yeah, $12 for one little brush can be expensive, but I've had this for over 5 years. You know what I mean? So the amount is worth it. This is a blending brush. This is something you would use in your crease, that you would blend out all your shadows, your transition shades. I go in with this every time I put a new color down just to make sure everything is blended. At the beginning, I literally use this brush for everything. I use this obviously for my crease. I use this for highlighting. I use this for contouring as well. I use this for so much, and the brush was never this like big. But after using it for so long, it got bigger, but I still do love it. Sigma has some of the best brushes, and I definitely recommend them. But yeah, I love this brush, and you can see how fluffy it is. Anything like this is to blend things out. So if you ever see a brush like this, you obviously don't need to get this brand, but if you get a brush like this, just know this is for blending. This is not necessary for pigments on the lid or anything like that, because it's not going to hold anything. This is particularly for blending. Alright, so the second brush that I use on a daily is the Morphe M330. This I use in almost every makeup tutorial. This is one of my favorite brushes. I just washed it, so that's why it's a little weird, but it's tapered at the top, so it gets really in there. This is also a blending brush. This is obviously different from this. You can tell the difference. This is way smaller. Well, it's not way smaller, but it's smaller and it's tapered. So I always go in with this brush first, and then I go in with this, because since this is smaller, this is gonna deposit the color more. So since it's so small, it gets in there, and it's a good blending brush as well. It makes the colors a little bit more true to color because it's so small. When I first got it, I did not like it because it like kind of hurts because it's tapered, so it kind of like pokes you. But you get used to it, and it just blends shadows so well, and this is so good for doing like a crease, like a defined crease look as well. So yeah, this is one of my favorite brushes. Also, with this brush, you can use this for under the lash line because it's tapered, it can get really in there. And you can use this for highlighting as well. It's important to know that you can use one brush for multiple things. Don't think you can only use it for one thing. Try to use it for something else. You can use this for the tear duct. I have highlight in my tear duct today. You can, since it's tapered, it has that point, you could just, put that highlighting right in there, and it's good for that. So this, I definitely recommend, and this is from Morphe, so this is probably like $6. I love Morphe brushes as well. Alright, next brush is from Sigma. I don't even know if I could read the brush. E25 blending brush. This is also a blending brush. This is like so old. This is one of the first brushes I bought too. This and the blending brush were the first three brushes I bought. But anyways, yeah, so this is for blending as well, but this is more for the outer V and a little bit in your crease. You don't use this to bring this up all the way, because it's going to give you a harsh line. Because it's so small, you can see, I don't know if you can see, but since it's so small and kind of tapered, you see that? It's not a big fluffy brush like this. So it's not going to do the same thing. So when you use this brush with an eyeshadow, it's like a soft wash of that color. When you use this, because it's so small and pinch, this is going to deposit the color even more deeply, okay? So that's the difference. You can use the same color eyeshadow with both these brushes, but they're going to look different because they're two different sizes. So keep that in mind. But this right here, same concept. You can use this under the lash line as well. I just use it for the outer V and in the crease a little bit since it's smaller and it blends out really nice. This is like an essential. You need this brush because this is gonna, if you ever see like the darkness on the outer V, this is what helps it blend out really seamless, and it's really good. Okay. This is one of the first brushes I bought as well, as you can see. The thing is I hate about Sigma brushes, the way they paint them, it chips really easy. Like, I got a new brush. I haven't even had this for that long, and it chipped as well. Like, that's ridiculous. After washing them, the water gets, you know, through them, and then they start chipping. Not like the Morphe ones because they're plastic. These are, like, painted, so they chip. But yeah, anyways, this is the first brush out of the other two I was talking about that I got as well. I got 3 brushes from Morphe for the first time, and for me, those were my essentials. But anyways, this is just a flat brush. This I use for my lid color, for my brow bone. You can use this for your tear duct. You can use this for, you know, nose contour, anything like that. Maybe not a nose contour, but like a nose highlighting. For sure, I would definitely use that. But yeah, this is just a basic brush. This is flat, so if you have any brushes like this or you're going to buy brushes, just know this is for your lid. This is not for blending because it's flat. It's not going to do any blending. So the 3 brushes that I was saying that are essential are these 3. These are the 3 brushes that everyone needs. So if you don't have any brushes or you don't have any brushes like this, you need to buy something similar. This is a flat brush. You need this. This is like number 1, obviously, because this is what you're going to put on your lid. This is, you know, you put shimmery matte colors with this. This is what you need. This is your lid brush. This is, you know, essential. Like, everyone needs that. This is your blending brush, your crease brush. Everyone needs this. This is going to help you blend all the shadows together. And then this is to get more precise and blended. You know, deposit the eyeshadow a little bit deeper than this color. So these 3 are like, this is what got me by when I first did makeup and started getting into makeup. These are your 3, but if you want to get a little bit more detailed on things, this brush that I said, which I feel like everyone needs as well. This is the taper brush. I would add this into the mix. And then this too, this is a pencil brush. This is very tiny. This is tiny. This is used for, you know, under the lash line. This you can do highlighting as well. This you can do in the crease if you want to do like a sharp, not contouring, like a cut crease. This is very useful as well. But yeah, so these right here, these 5 brushes I use every day now. You know, when I first got into makeup, I only did the 3, but now I use these 4 every single day. By the way, this one is from BH Cosmetics. They have really cheap brushes, and they have them in sets, which is really nice. But you can get any brush like this from anywhere. But these 5 brushes, like I said, are essential for me. I use them with every makeup look. I create almost every look with these 5 brushes. I feel like if I came out with a makeup kit, like, these would be in my makeup kit, these 5, because this you can create like any look with. So moving on to some brushes that do you necessarily need? No, but they're helpful and they create, you know, more detailed looks like I mentioned. And yeah, you have brushes that you can use for multiple things, which is great, especially for beginners or people that don't want to spend all this money on brushes. But someone that, you know, loves to do makeup and is, you know, a little bit more into doing more detailed things, I would say these brushes that I'm going to show you definitely need. Alright, so this brush in particular, it's chipping as well, it's super annoying. It's the E15 by Sigma. This is for more detailed under the lash line. So This one that I just showed you is more for like blending out. This is more to deposit the color because it's so skinny. So say for instance you have black, you want to use black with this, you kind of go under your lash line and it gives you a harsh line. This is for more harsh lines and sometimes you need that. And then this is to blend that out so then you have like a smoky look. I use this with concealer to map out my lid space when I do certain looks, so that's why I love this brush. I mostly use it for that, and from time to time I do use it for under my lash line as well. And also this is good for like if you carve out your brows with concealer, this is really helpful because it's flat and straight, so it gets really in there. I don't really do that. If you're someone that loves doing that, this brush is really great for that. So next brush that I absolutely love and I use all the time as well, actually I would put that in the brushes that I use as well. This I don't obviously use on an everyday basis, but this I use every time I use a pigment on my lid or glitter. Because it's so flat, it packs down the pigment and glitter very well. This you can use for concealer as well, but I strictly use this for my lid or even the brow bone highlight as well. I love this brush. This brush is from BH Cosmetics as well, but you can use any flat brush. This you can use with liquids, you can use with pigments, powders, anything like that. This is strictly for the lid. So this brush I got recently. This is from Morphe. This is the M506. This you can use for your lower lash line as well. You can use for your inner corner. This I use for cutting the crease as well. This is like the mini version of the tapered brush that I absolutely love that I use every day. This is just like literally the tiny version, and this is just more for your crease. I love doing like cut creases, so this is what I use for that. This little tiny brush, I don't know if you can see it, but this I love for the inner corner highlight. This is what I use today for my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight as well. This is the only thing I use for that. This is a shader brush. You can use it for your lid as well, but I really don't use it for that reason. Maybe like the inner corner. But yeah, this is just for this, and this is the only thing I use for that. This is from Sephora, and it's the number 18 brush. So the lash brush that I use for my lid is this brush right here. This is from Real Techniques. This is a dual fiber brush, meaning you can use powder and liquids with this. I use this for my color correcting concealer every day. I love this for that because it's so small. I also use it for my lid color to prime my eyes. I will use the primer and, you know, apply this to my lid. Yeah, those are like the two reasons why I use this. Alright, so moving on to face brushes. I'm first going to start with foundation brushes. I have a few here that I absolutely love. This is one of my first foundation brushes, also from Sigma. It's the Kabuki F80. This is like one of their #1 best-selling foundation brushes. It's so good. I do love it. I use more of my sponge now. Don't mind my sponge. It's so dirty because I used it today. But I just love like a beauty sponge just because it looks so much more natural. With the brush, it packs the foundation more densely because it's so dense. You know, so it can look a little cakey at times, so that's why I love the Beauty Blender. But if I need like fuller coverage, I definitely use a brush, or even with like a stick foundation, I like brushes better. People have a personal preference whether they like a sponge over a brush, but if you like brushes, I do recommend this. It has a flat top. It blends really nice into the skin. It doesn't leave any streaky lines or anything like that, so yeah, I definitely recommend this brush. Two other brushes that I love. This one's from Sephora. This is the Multitasker Complexion Brush. This is like an airbrush brush. It just looks very flawless on the skin. I don't know, I just really like it. It's very soft. This one's similar to this. It's just a different brush, but it's packed the same way as this. So this is a Real Techniques brush as well. This is like an airbrush brush as well. This one I love. I personally use this all the time when I use a brush for foundation over this one. I don't know, I just like it because it's a little bit smaller. So out of this three, if I had to recommend one foundation brush, I would go with the Real Technique one. I don't know, I just personally love it. It's just smaller, it blends beautifully, and it never looks cakey, and it's the cheapest out of all of them as well. So you can buy it at the drugstore. So if you need a new foundation brush, I would definitely recommend this one. And this sponge is also from Real Techniques. This is so small. I love this brush just because it's flat on one end, so I do my concealer, I do my powders, I do my foundation with this. This is just a multitasking blending sponge, so that's why I love it so much. So I'm pretty sure that everyone has that one brush in their collection that it's like they've had forever and you're like, you can't let it go because it's so good. This is my brush. I actually stole this from my mom when I first got into makeup. Like, I mean, I've always loved makeup, but when I actually like try to take it seriously, I stole this from her like makeup collection that she had. This is actually from Victoria's Secret when they sold makeup and brushes and things like that. So this is like super old, and this brush is actually well made, obviously, because this at least 15 years, like no joke. This is really old, but I just love this brush. It's fluffy. I use it for bronzing every single day that I bronze. I use this brush. It's so fluffy, it's soft, it blends in my bronzer great, and I use it every day. I don't know, I just love this brush. So if you have a brush like this or you need a new bronzing brush, I definitely recommend this. This is a little bit fluffier. It's not small, so technically it's not a contouring brush, and it's not huge like a big powder brush that some people use for bronzing as well because they like their bronzer like everywhere. This is like in the middle. This is like a medium size bronzing brush, and I just use it to bronze, and it just, you know, warms up my complexion, gives me more dimension. So I love this brush. So obviously they don't sell this anymore, so if you have any like similar brushes that you've seen, I definitely would pick it up because this one's really good. Alright, so some contouring brushes. I personally don't contour every day. I contour once in a while. That's just not my thing. I used to, when contouring was a big thing, I was trying to get into it, and you know, I did it once in a while, but I don't know, for me, I don't necessarily feel like I need it. Once I bronze, I feel like I have that dimension, so I don't feel like I need to contour. I just do it sometimes for fun, you know? But anyways, I have this contour brush that I bought from Real Techniques. This was actually a little bit more expensive because it was like the rose gold edition, and it was more luxury, I guess. I don't know. But this one, since it's flat, you can contour your cheekbones. You can use this with powder and go under your contour if you feel like you brought it a little too far. So yeah, this is used for that. And like I said, I don't really use it that much. This is also a contour brush. This is from Morphe. This is actually cheaper than the Real Techniques. This was recommended. I've seen so many people use this. This is the M523. This you can use for bronzing as well. It just would be a little bit more precise because it's smaller. So I would definitely use this for contouring. It blends out really nice. I like to use this on my clients. This is from BH Cosmetics. This is technically a blush brush, but you can use this as contouring as well because it has that angle, so it will blend really well. I personally use this for blush, so if you have like a angle brush like this, I would use it for blush. This is like perfect for, you know, applying to your cheekbones. Alright, two brushes that I use on my face every single day as well are these two brushes. These are the lash brushes I will be talking about. This right here is from Morphe. This is the M438 brush. This is taper as well. This I use for powder, for under my eyes. This fits perfectly under my eyes. It's tapered. I use this to dust away the bake. You can use this for under your contour or bronzing if you brought it way too far as well. This is just an essential for me. I love this brush. This brush is my highlighting brush. I just use this for highlighting. I don't use this for anything else. You can technically use this for contouring, but I just use it for strictly highlighting. I love this brush. This is from Anastasia. This is the 823 brush. I would definitely recommend this for highlighting. If you need a highlighting brush, definitely something like this. It's like domed at the top, kind of flares out, and I love this over a fan brush because a fan brush is like, when you apply highlighter with a fan brush, it's more like a line. This blends it out perfectly, so I love this brush for highlighting. I also want to put that out there, like with a bigger brush like this, would you necessarily contour with it? Probably not because it's bigger. Would you bronze with this? Probably not because it's smaller. So I want you guys to like keep that in your mind. If it's a bigger brush like this, fluffy brush, same thing with the eye concept, it's gonna blend out product. This is not meant to pack any product down. Like, would you use concealer with this? No. Would you use, a pigment or a glitter to apply this on your lid? No. It's fluffy. It's meant to blend. So any brushes like this, whether it's for your eyes or for your face, just know it's to blend. And then flat brushes like this is for your lid. You're not going to use this to blend because this isn't going to blend anything on your eye. Same thing with this. This is, for your lid, for pigments, things like that. Things that you have to pat down. This is not meant for blending whatsoever. And then smaller brushes like this. Obviously, you're not going to use this for anything big. Would you use this for bronzing? No, because it's not going to get a big area of your face. It's going to get that small, precise area. Same thing with these. These are small. Would you use this to blend out your shadow and your crease? Not really, because this is not going to blend anything out. This is more for, under here. Yes, you can use this to define if you did a cut crease because it gives you that line. But then you would go in with, something like this to blend it out. This as well, this is more for precise work. It gives you that defined look, and then you would blend it out with this or just a bigger fluffy brush. So just keep that in mind. Bigger things are for bigger areas, smaller things are for smaller areas. So I hope that was very helpful for you guys. Maybe you guys got a better understanding of what brushes to use for what. Maybe new brushes you want to try out. Things that you didn't know, like you can use one brush for multiple things. But yeah, like I said, I recommend these brushes 100%. I've used them for so long and they're very good. So BH, Sigma, Real Techniques, and Morphe are like the top 4 for me. I love those brushes. I have like no complaints about them besides, the brushes chipping from Sigma. You guys got to do better with that. But yeah, so I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys learned, new things. I hope you get to try out new brushes and see if they work for you. It's all about practice. Just keep practicing with your brushes and you'll end up getting it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.